This is the Blackout Club on Xbox One. This is not an enhanced title. It is a cooperative horror experience where you've got this club, there's a bunch of kids. Everybody kind of blacks out, and now you're working together in order to figure out what's happening, recording evidence, and just generally dealing with the problems that are kind of going on in the neighborhood. So we've got these sort of abilities that we can level up and enhance and choose from. And you can also save them in order to get the more intense major powers within the game. And you play on a number of missions, you work as a crew, you can be in a squad of up to 4 players, kind of a neat idea. There's a whole prologue thing that's actually really interesting in terms of getting you invested in the game. So as you can see at the start here, this is just kind of like a hub area. You can learn about certain elements of the game, what certain things do. You get to pick your missions from this area, only the host can do that. And then afterwards you jump out of the cart and you kind of get ready to go on a mission in order to do a number of things. So while the game itself is really neat and the premise of it once you first open up that initial segment is really cool, it can feel a little bit repetitive. I should also mention that you can customize your appearance. You get some character options in regards to standard things, and then you can go to the store and actually use your earned tokens in order to kind of customize your character and make them look different, which is slightly a side thing from the actual skill-based system that is present in the game. Here we go. So I got our kind of initial starting point. What our mission is, looks like we are looking for cryptograms. So basically you start out in a cave area, whether that's on the side of a cliff or inside the little area here. There are some initial items that you can collect that are kind of bonuses. My initial item is the taser, but you can collect more as you're playing on the level. We also have a phone. We can kind of tilt back and forth, which is neat, but pull out our phone because it acts as a flashlight, and it also can be brought up as a recording device in order to find secret evidence, whether or not you need to, or if it's just bonus. So you're working as a team. There's like a vocal element that you can turn on or off where it like listens to what you're saying and the sounds you're making, and the AI responds to that. So it's sort of similar to the concept behind Alien Isolation. So that's kind of cool. We're not playing with that because my recording microphone's a little bit different, but you get the idea of it. So we're in this neighborhood, and this is where things feel a little bit minimal. The game is quite repetitive, and there's not a lot of variation within the actual environment. The core concept of the game itself is actually very interesting. You're going through this like creepy neighborhood. You're a bunch of kids. It's got like a weird kind of sci-fi, I want to say kind of Stranger Things vibe to it, which is really neat. This is my sort of like weird death vision. There's like a bad thing that's out there. Oh jeez, did not expect that to happen so fast. So yeah, there's these bad things. They're after you and your friends, and yeah, you're kind of dealing with them while you're doing your mission. And again, like the core concept of this, really cool, really interesting. Definitely something different. Stealth is a big part of the game, a big part of the experience. But that being said, it's quite a repetitive experience. You're doing the same sort of things over and over again. I will note that there's a neat little underneath area. So there's like this whole cavern section you can go to. It's really spooky. We're going to be heading down there. But yeah, you get like this whole block area, which I guess I'll take a second to look outside and kind of just show off so you get an idea of it. Oh crap, was that a bad thing? I hope that wasn't a bad thing. So there's like this whole street. It's very creepy, very atmospheric. It looks good. For the most part, things play well. It seems to handle well. It's just, there isn't a whole lot to the mechanics, and it takes a while to sort of level or really progress in terms of feeling like you're getting anything going on. You can climb down ladders, which just seems a little bit awkward for some reason. I don't know. Just my opinion on that. So we're going to creep down here, and we're going to try to find these cryptograms. Sometimes you have to scavenge, like, pickpocket items from the creepy sleepwalking people. Sometimes you have to open boxes to record evidence. There's a number of different sort of objectives. It's just the setup just seems so, rinse and repeat over and over again. It would be cool if there was, like, more dynamics to the actual play in terms of, what you're dealing with, maybe more variations within it, and additional situations and scenarios. They did a really good job with what they've presented, but I don't know, I still feel as though they could have taken it a little bit further. So I'm going a little bit noisy in here. scan the room out. I'll be prepared to defend myself. Try and run over here, quickly grab this. And I'll get the last one too. And then you complete your mission, and then you just leave. That's really quite what it is. That's the gist of the game. Not a whole lot to it, again. But it is kind of really cool. I mean, I like the ideas. I like what they were aiming for. I just feel like they could have taken it further. Like, it's a good atmosphere. Plays fairly good. I think visually it's quite fine. I would have liked an enhancement on 1X, but, you know, that's just not the case here. Which is a little bit of a shame. So it might not run quite as well on the basic consoles, but you never really know, right? Because I'm not on there. So I can't speak for that version of the Xbox. But we're going to try to grab this torch item. So this is like a stealing fire situation. Oh, jeez. This is not the good way. Move here. So when it comes to the actual UI itself, it's fairly straightforward. We got that eye on the bottom of the screen. You can sort of see how it reacts based on what I'm doing and how visible I am to enemies. We've got health on the bottom left, which I kind of really ate into there, jumping down. Was not a good idea. And we have a stamina bar as well. So that stamina bar can kind of be replenished if we are using things such as like health. I've got like a cool foam that I could have dropped down. Oh crap, the yellow thing's kind of indicating on me. And it's green. So there's sort of light, and then it lets the creepy bad thing know where I am. It's in certain parts of the map, and you have to deal with it at certain situations. I'm hoping it kind of moves a little bit so I can get out of here. Oh crap, it's on me. Looks like our team has already kind of left the situation, which is not good for me because I'm sort of stuck down here with these sleepwalking things. But again, the whole setup area where it's like a tutorial is really neat. It sets the ground for a really cool sort of game, and then you get into the gameplay and it's like, oh, this is cool. But if you played it many times over, I feel like it really, like, it already is feeling repetitive for me at this point. And yeah, I don't think that really goes away because it is such a sadly simple concept, like simple idea what they're doing here, whereas it could have been something that was like way more intense because like the potential is there. There's just like a really good layer of polish. What is going on? Guess my teammates kind of helping me out a little bit. And the goal is, you know, to work together, to escape, and be successful as a team. I mean, you can kind of communicate if you like to, or not. We're working pretty well, I think. Nice job. So that's a kind of a teamwork thing. Taking out that enemy, I could have also just, like, tased him. Really not a big deal. Sometimes your teammates get taken over. We're going to take this time to quickly show off the foam thing, so I can throw my foam down. And then I can softly jump down on the ledge. Oop. Ow. And then we can leave. But sometimes your teammates get taken, like I believe our guy has over there. And then you have to actually go and save them in order to, I don't know, be successful as a team. And that's where things kind of like fall apart. You know, it's got that whole heroic Left 4 Dead segment where you go back and you try to save somebody, but then it ends up just sort of screwing everybody over. Hello there. How are you doing? Give you the gift of dance. Of course, there's emotes that you can unlock and everything like that. And you gotta take selfies. What? Hey, how you doing? But yeah, overall, I think visually it looks quite appealing. It can be quite fun. I like the cooperative elements working together. I hope that there's maybe more content coming down the road. Because again, there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot to it. And I don't know, it's kind of already feeling fairly repetitive, so you can kind of see like the slow sort of leveling that you're getting here. So it takes quite a fair bit to get through things. And then you get a little bit of extra candy stuff that you can use in order to get new items and clothing, like I had mentioned previously. So now we're back into another mission. Yeah, but just generally, I think it's a really cool game. It's kind of fun to play. I like the appeal of what they're doing with it. The kid angle is sort of fun. It adds an extra level of sort of creativity and enjoyment to it, just in terms of like, oh, it's just a bunch of kids, having to deal with the situation, that creepy vibe. That seems to have really become popular again nowadays, which is kind of cool. It works for the most part, but again, it does leave something to be desired. I just think there was a lot more, again, that they could have done with it. But you do get like a really lively sort of environment to visit. There's a lot to do in this. Some weird mystical things going on, obviously. And just really creepy vibes. I do, however, sort of wish that they would have kept with the initial sort of idea. I think this could have been a really cool single-player driven thing. Don't get me wrong, I love the co-op. I think the cooperative aspect's really cool. But if they would have taken that single-player aspect a little bit further too, I think there was, sort of some real interesting things that they could have done with the game. Because I really do like the idea of the opening. But it also does set the stage for a fun little thing, because it is like, oh my god, we've got to kick into gear. It's sort of one of those moments where the kids are like, we gotta band together, because things need to get done, because this is not a good situation. And I thought that was really cool. Crap. Not good.
Looks like a... what does it look like? Shh.
So this is definitely a bad situation to be in. I got you. Maybe. Oh, it's a long arm untie. But yeah, I think if you have a group of friends, this could be a really neat experience. You could have a good time together. Even with randoms, and I'm not even chatting with these guys, I actually am having a fairly good time with them. Oh, crap. They do seem to be working together. Sometimes you just get kicked. Like, I was helping one team, I was doing all the work for them really fast, and yeah, they just like straight up kicked me. I was like, oh, that's a little disappointing. But if you find a good team, you can really have a good time in here, figuring things out, investigating what's up, and enjoying the sort of like horror vibe that's going on, because it kind of can be a little bit creepy. I mean, it had really good horror vibes in the early segment, and I feel like that's kind of, sort of carried on here in the main game. Oh, jeez. A little blur. I can't tell quite well if those are like entirely performance issues or if I am dealing with just like a blur effect on the game. But yeah, this is the research aspect of it. We gotta find research. Usually it's like dirty trails and stuff that lead you to where you're going. Definitely an overall cool sort of thing. So yeah, that's the Blackout Club. Cool vibes, neat game. Just, not fully pushed outwards as far as they could have taken it, at least in my opinion. And let's see if we do survive again. Oh, jeez. This is not good. Not good at all.